press and hold the center power button to power on the bike. Hold down the plus and minus buttons simultaneously to reach the settings menu. Scroll down and press the center button to select the battery lock page, and then press it once again to unlock and eject the battery. Place your hand below the battery to support it. Once the top end of the battery is disengaged, press the handle to release the battery and lift it out of the bike. Remove the wire loom from the handlebar controls. With the bike inverted, disconnect the display cable and then use a 4mm hex wrench to loosen both of the stem clamping bolts. Use a 4mm hex wrench to loosen the stem cap preload bolt and then loosen both of the stem clamping bolts until the stem can be released. Remove the stem. Follow up by removing the headset dust cover and the compression ring. Lift the fork and front wheel up and out of the frame. Use a 3mm hex wrench to remove the two bolts that mount the terminal assembly to the frame. Use a 3mm hex wrench to remove the two bolts that mount the battery lock assembly to the frame. Use a 2.5mm hex wrench to remove the 3 bolts that attach the cable cover plate within the battery compartment. Remove the cover plate. Disconnect the blue cable connection behind the lock assembly, as shown. Use a 2.5mm hex wrench to remove the 2 bolts that secure the controller assembly to the frame. Lift up the controller cover plate and disconnect the blue color-coded cable connection on the harness itself and the plug in the first position on the controller. Remove the harness. Swap the display harness. Connect the new harness to the controller and the blue ACU cable by aligning the arrows and firmly pressing the connection together. Feed the other end of the harness through the battery compartment. Guide the controller and cover assembly back into the frame of the bike. Reinstall the 2 controller cover plate bolts using a 2.5mm hex wrench. Connect the blue female end of the harness to the cable behind the lock assembly by aligning the arrows and firmly pressing together. Feed the last male end of the harness into the frame and out of the head tube of the bike. Organize the cables, align the cable cover plate to the mounting holes in the battery compartment, and reinstall the 3 mounting bolts with a 2.5mm hex wrench. Position the battery lock assembly in place and reinstall the 2 mounting bolts using a 3mm hex wrench. Guide the terminal back into the frame and reinstall the mounting bolts using a 3mm hex wrench. Guide the display cable through the dust cover and cable spacer. Reinstall the fork into the head tube, ensuring the lower headset bearing is still in place. Replace the compression ring with the opening containing the cables toward the front of the bike, as shown. Install the dust cover onto the head tube. While keeping the cables oriented forward, press the dust cover flush against the head tube of the bike. Guide the headset spacers along the stem, back onto the steerer tube, and use a 4mm hex wrench to thread on the stem compression bolt. Continue to tighten the bolt until the stem is fully seated. Ensure the headset is properly preloaded while ensuring there is still good movement in the steering. Feed the display cable through the headlight bracket and then reconnect it to the harness by aligning the arrows and firmly pressing together. With the bike upright, replace the cable wire loom on both sides of the handlebar controls. Align the handlebars with the front wheel and then use a 4mm hex wrench to tighten the stem clamping bolts and alternate between the two while torquing them to 6 Nm. Reinstall the battery by inserting the bottom first and pressing the top to lock it in place. Press and hold the center power button to power on the bike and test for proper function.